Okay, so this is basically your replacement class for the mobile programming A242, and there's a lot of topics that I want to talk about. So the following basically some of the topic that I'm going to cover in this video. One is a project restructure. Second is on pagination, drawer updates, profile menu, and also messages. And the first thing I'm going to look into is basically project restructure. So the project restructure, this is basically from the lib folder. So you can go to the lib folder. Before this, we do only have a model and views only. But then I move a few of the files into new folder here called chat. Inside the chat folder, there are a number of other files such as animated route and my drawer, which is a class drawer that being pulled out that allowed to be shared among other UI. And also min. So this is basically how the project folder looks like now. The config file also moved to chat. This is inside inside chat folder. Alright, so that's basically project restructuring. And when you pull with the latest GitHub repo, that's basically how you're going to be able to look at or to retrieve in the lib folder. Alright, so that's basically the first thing. The second thing that we're going to look now is through the pagination. So take a look at this application here, the Unigo application and the marketplace, which is basically before this is the home. I renamed the page to marketplace. And here, as you can see at the bottom down here, you can see there's a pagination access, which is implemented through pagination. And the data here, I added more data, which for every data consists of 10 items. And there are actually 30 data, but 3 of the data basically set to sold. And here you can see each of the page here consists of 10 data, except for the last one, only 7 data. And the implementation for this is basically available in the main screen here. The main screen here consists of quite a lot of changes. One is that the implementation of pagination. So the pagination here require a few parameter: num of page, current page, and num of result. And the other section is that the body section also being wrapped in the column, and there are two parts here. One is the container widgets here, which display the number of result, and the second widget here is basically expanded widget, which consists of list view builder. So this is the list view builder from the data that we retrieve from the item list. And the item, the list view builder basically use the information that we retrieve from item list. So that there's not much changes except for a few UI overhaul for the for this gradual the gradient app bar and themes. So we're going to focus more on the load items function here, method here, which basically load items as usual. And here the only parameter that we need to pass is the page number. So the page number basically define the current page number that we want to retrieve. So by default, the current page number is page number 1. And that's basically again coming from the initial current page, which is 1. So we pass this page number to load item.php. So load items.php here will require also a number of changes. The change basically on the implementation of pagination. So for pagination to work, one is that we need to get the page number set up. And here start with result per page, which is initialized, we set to 10. So if you want to change to 20, 30 number of items available for every page, so you can set up in the result per page. And this is basically just to get the page number. If there's no page number provided through the from the front end, so we set to page number 1. But if there's a page number, then we get the page number from the URL. So the page number basically retrieve the page first result index using the following simple formula. So the page number, so let's say you are in the page number 1. So 1 by minus 1, which is 0, times result per page. So which means that you get 0. This basically set up the index number when we introduce limit statement into our SQL. So this is the page first result. So the base query for the select statement here also been changed, and I made it into a much compact statement. So we implement through the base query and added the where clause later. So the where clause basically built based on the query and also user ID. And then we expand or implode the statement with the where clause. But this is basically where we added later on the limit statement. So from the SQL load items here with the added order by, then execute the SQL normally. But for the first try, we need to get number of result first, because the number of result basically will determine your number of page. So let's say your number of result is 30. So to get number of page means that 30 divided by number of page, and then you get the ceiling number. So that's basically the formula to get the number of page. So let's say you have 27 divided by result per page. Definitely you're going to get number, it's not integer number, but when you use the ceiling, it basically will return integer number. So let's say you have 27, so 27 divided by 10, you get 2.7. So ceiling of 2.7 is 3. So your number of page means 3. But then we need to modify again the SQL that we built before this to introduce limit statement. So the limit statement will require where you want the data to the index to start from, and then the number of data that you want to retrieve. And then the SQL load item here will be executed again as usual, and the rest basically the same. However, the response array here, I added number of page and number of result to be returned back to the application. So when we retrieve the data, so if for example like we change the number of result per page here to 5 only, so let me try to refresh. As you can see, there's only 5 data loaded here, 1 2 3 4 5, and the number of pages increase. Okay, so you can set the result per page here. So so usually you can just set to 10, and you get 10 items per page here. Okay, so you can move around through the page selection. So that's basically available as a part of this size block here that implement the pagination. So the pagination implement here through the list view builder. However, we set the scroll direction through horizontal. So this is basically depend on the item count, and the button, the text button here, built based on the number of page. So when the text button is being pressed, you press the text button here, so the current page will be sent through the load items, and we load that particular items. And the current selected item basically determined through the index number here. As you can see, when you press the button 1 here, you can see that button 1 here colored, which means that selected. So you press button 2 here, it means that button 2 selected. That's basically implemented through the color options here. Alright, so that's basically for the main page. The main page also the UI has been revamped. Just a few updates. One is that the app bar, the gradient colored app bar, and also with the inclusion of font from Google font. So you can go to the PubSpec YAML, and here you have the Google font, which allow us to use the Google font, the available Google font here. This is the Google Poppin font. So look,
Google's Pixel line offers a range of smartphone.
Okay, so that's basically on the marketplace, and also here I added a slide down to refresh. You can see that there's a slider implement through the body section. So the body section for the application contain in the refresh indicator widget. So the refresh indicator widget comes with on refresh, which basically you can just reload back the items, and that basically require the refresh global indicator here to be added to your state class. So when you slide down, you get that refresh, and then basically reload with the new data if there's any. Something else that I added here also, the there's a new message button at the bottom down here, and this is basically for messaging, internal messaging that later I'm going to describe. So through the internal messaging here, you can have your internal message implemented. Alright, so I think that's basically for the marketplace menu screen. So and done with the pagination. So actually it's quite simple to implement pagination. Just make sure that the SQL implemented here through the limit index and the number of data that you like to retrieve, but here you have to do twice the query implement to be able to load the particular data. Alright, so that's basically the main screen here. And next we're going to look into drawer. Alright, so for the drawer here, as you can see, the drawer here also a few changes, and in this drawer you have to go to the shared folder with my drawer.dart. So the drawer.dart here is basically a class widget that return drawer, and so that I don't have to repeat the same process again every time. So as you can see from the from the main screen here, the drawer section inside the body at the bottom down here is just we just call my drawer here. Okay, so the my drawer here is basically referring to the my drawer class that we have. This my drawer class. So we just call this class every time that we need, and we'll always return drawer. So the implementation of the drawer inside here is actually quite simple. It's just a drawer with list style as items, and each of the list style here is basically with their own implementation to check if there's a widget user ID 0. If you click any of the item, implementation of logout. Also, you can see at the bottom down here, this is basically logout. So the logout button here basically will remove your preference, and then will push to your login screen. Alright, so the drawer, basically you can just go straight to my drawer.dart. So all the implementation of drawer is inside here. So whenever you click on any of these list style here, you can just straight away go to, like, for example, if you want to look into the this what do you call it, the drawer header. So this is basically your drawer header. So you have your drawer header implemented through here with all the children tree, with the widget tree. And for the second one, this is the list style. Start with marketplace. So this is the list style for marketplace, which basically just load everything. This is list style for the second one, your items, or maybe we can just rename. Okay, this is your items. And the third list style here, this is basically for profile setting. So you go to profile setting here, and this list style here is basically for your message. Okay, so this is implementation of the message. And finally, the last still list style here is basically confirm logout, which will clear your preference. All right. So that's basically for drawer. Drawer implementation. Alright, so next we're going to look into profile page. So within a profile page, just a simple profile page which consists of the following. So we have the profile information, such as email, phone, address, name, and date registered. So here, the profile screen, user basically allowed to change their phone number, their address, name, implement through the update profile.php. So the update profile.php, basically the backend that is responsible for profile updates. So basically we send out image, name, phone, and everything. So you can just refer to update profile.php. So the update profile.php is basically this one. So update profile.php is just a simple implementation of update, which require for user to provide all the information. For image here, if there's no image available or uploaded, so it basically just will not upload any image at all. Okay, So very simple implementation for update profile, and here you can see the widget tree through the body section here. Okay, so the body section implements single child scroll view, and then we have the whole thing here carded. Okay, and each and every one of these widget is inside a column, gesture detector for image, and each of these is basically tile. You can go straight to the widget tile here. Okay, implemented through the reusable editable tile, and yeah, that's it. Okay, so you can just implement the profile as simple as this, and then we go for message. All right, so message is a little bit difficult to implement. But for the messaging here, you can go to the message screen. Where's the message screen? Let's see a message screen here. So message screen, basically what it does is basically first load all the message. So you can see here, implement through the init state, load messages. So the usual load message, we send out a user ID, and then we're going to be able to load all the message belong to this user ID, belong to the user. And this is basically the message list array that we retrieve from the JSON data returned by the load message. And then you can just straight away go to the load message. So load message here will require a little bit complicated SQL, which will join, which basically consists of join statement with inner select statement. Okay, even with this, there's some issue with the listing, but yeah, it does work. So the SQL statement here just a little bit complex to implement with join select. Okay, so and then the rest is basically just written back as a message array back to application, so that the message be able to load the data. And this is basically a conversation with this within two account. So for example, like if I look something else, let's say I'm interested with this. Hi, is this new, something like that. So send out message, you can see message send, and then just can go back to messages here. Oops, sorry, it's supposed to be there. Try second one. New or old, send, message send, then go back to messages. Okay, we have two now. Okay, I just forget, just delete that message. Okay, now we have two between Ali and Ahmad Hanis, between Ainul and Ahmad Hanis. So those are the message. So we can then communicate with this account, and just a very simple message. This is not even like real-time messaging, just a very simple message that allow communication in the Unigo application. Right? Okay, so you can look at the message, but the implementation of message require quite a number of backend API. So you can see there, load message, we have load conversation, send message, yeah, there's 4, okay, mark red. Okay, there are 4 API that we use here to implement messaging. Okay, because messaging is a rather complex communication that we need to properly manage. And also you can load the data from database or update your database, because there are new items, new users also. So you can see the items there, message implementation, table users. There are a number of users here available. Alright, so make sure that you reload or you delete your database first, and then upload or just recreate back your tables and import the SQL. Alright, so yeah, and I also added like animated route here. This is basically as you can see, when I click on this, you can see that there's a animation moving from right to left. So if I move to profile, if I move to messages, I've moved to your items, so you can see that this is implemented through the animated route. And you can just call the animated route easily from your drawer. You can see the drawer here. All basically implement animated route. You can see that animated route slide from right, okay, and then move to message screen. So this basically will implement that. Okay, just a simple animation. Okay, so what else? Oh yeah, I also added delete. Sorry, not delete. So just on long tap on any of the items belong to the seller. So you can set this and update this as sold. So which means that the item will be no longer in the database. It's still in database, but set the status to sold. But if you click on this, which means that you want to delete the item will be permanently removed from the database, right? Right, so that's basically the new update with the Unigo application. Do check out the latest version. Oh yeah, for this also I updated the following. So let me just log out. I added registration, this part here. So this is implemented using for the address here. You can see that if I click on this, what is the user, this device permission, I didn't have the permission being removed. It's supposed to request for permission, but I'm not quite sure why it didn't request for permission. I didn't deny any permission at all actually, but what it says here is basically I denied permission for the application. Let me just try to update on this permission. This is user register screen. This actually is supposed to be able to allow to get user location, user current location using lat-lang address. You can go to register screen dot and that's basically implement through the get current address method. You can see that user current location. So this is the code. Okay, so I just updated this with proper permission. So here, as you can see, when I click on this, it will ask you allow Unigo to access this device location. So allow while using the app. So here you should be able to see user current address. Let's say, like for example, like this one, Servas Timor, University of Malaysia, Kedah Sanglun. So you can change your current location. So let's say if you want to change your location to a different location, so let's say somewhere in Jitra, somewhere here. Okay, so set as current location. So let me try to retrieve that location. Okay, you can see there. There's sometimes I'm able to retrieve a proper location. So it depends basically on which location that we are looking at. So let's see, like I'm trying to get like somewhere here. So set location, try to retrieve that. Okay, so you can see that that's basically the address written through the query. So this is implemented through these two library here, geolocator and geocoding. But the one that I use here is a quite old version. This is because my Gradle, I do have issues, still have issues with Gradle. So I'm using old version, and this old version I don't have to update my Gradle, which is currently version 8.2 I believe, or 8.12. So you have to be sure that your Gradle version, if you can use the latest version. I cannot use that version unless I do some modification to my Gradle file. But this is the version that I'm using that seems to work. So now the implementation is basically through this button and this guy get current address, and we set the location, this address controller to the location. The location implementation is very simple. All we need to do is just get permission first, and then if permission is denied, then just scaffold. If permission is denied forever, also scaffold. If everything is okay, get the position using geolocator, get current position, and then geolocator position will return place mark through the position, latitude and longitude information. And this place mark, we get the first place mark written by the query, and then we just set the address controller to the place street, postal code, locality, place administrative area, and this is basically the one that we have these tags. Okay, and then if something goes wrong, just snack bar. Other than that, is that's just a simple one. Okay, just click on that and should be able to retrieve your address. So let's try a different address. Let's see over there, set location and retrieve. Okay. Right, so this is free service, so you don't have to pay anything. Just make sure that you use the library properly to be able to use lat-lang, latitude, longitude for the address with reverse geocoding. Okay, this is very simple code actually. It's just very short code here. Just call and update the controller. The is locating here is basically just for this circular bar here, circular progress notification here. So basically wait for the address, and then once we get address, the is locating turn back to false. Right, so you can register your account, go back, you can log in back. Okay. Alright, so that's basically updates to your Unigo application. You can pull the latest repo from Unigo, my Unigo repo, and also make sure also to update your backend. There's a number of updates here, or number new file here. Those are the new file that I just added. Okay, so make sure to replace those files. Also, all the Unigo DB SQL, import new one so that you get the new tables there, and asset, get all the asset. Okay, so I'm going to update all these. I'm going to put all these into your repo, and so that you can get them. Okay, I'm going to take all this and put it into your Unigo and load all these. Select, remove, reveal and explorer, and dump it here. Replace all the file. Oh, sorry, it's not supposed to be here. It's supposed to be inside here. Okay, so your asset will be there. Right, so that's basically update for your Unigo app. Okay, so if you do have any questions, do ask me. And there are one more thing that I'm going to do later, which is to publish the application and how to publish the application on web hosting. That's all.